Hello and welcome to the video. So today we've got an old Electrotren wagon to have a look at. It's number 813 and you can see straight away that this is a barrel wagon and it has the words Osborne down the side. Now I don't think this is anything to do with Ozzy Osbourne, but it's obviously a Spanish brand of wine I guess, or it might be something like port. Like many old Electrotren items, they come in a really nice plastic box that you can see here that really helps support the wagon and prevent it from being damaged. This box is faring pretty good, and on the back we have a graphic with a coach here, the Electrotren logo embossed into the plastic as well as up here printed on this piece of paper, and fidelity and improvement is the thing that it's saying in English to us, but that doesn't make any sense at all. But anyway, let's get this model open and we'll have a look at what we've got inside. So now that we've got this model out of the box, I'm actually thinking, is this really Electrotren? And I say that because normally Electrotren stuff is moulded with a lot of detail on them. This one doesn't seem to be like that, it's a bit of an oddball. Let me show you this up close and I can show you what I mean. So here at this end we have the brakeman's cab with RN printed onto the plastic here. Quite nicely detailed I have to say. It's got some rivet detail and the planking is really nicely picked out, but it doesn't have any glazing on the cab. At each side it has a door and it has these metal handrails going down to the chassis. Talking of the chassis, it seems to be made of metal, this one, and you can see here this really quite ugly tab coming through from below, which I guess is holding the wheels onto it, and that really spoils the effect of the chassis, and it seems like there should be some detail here, but it's just not, it's just a flat piece of metal. So there are steps here moulded in metal, and obviously the buffers as well are metal as well, so it's a one-piece casting of the chassis here. We have a plate here with some really nicely printed details on numbers. And then further down we have this additional plate here which is also in metal, and it has this bull here with the words Osborne, which almost looks like a Wild West font, so that's quite interesting. And then down this end we've got a set of metal steps going up to the top of the wagon and a metal platform on the top which has got these two studs holding it onto the barrels, which we'll come to in a moment. The other side of the wagon is very similar, but it has the ladder in a different position at this point here. But aside from that, it's identical to the first side. So the barrels themselves, I think, are actually made of wood. They don't feel as though they're plastic, and they're definitely not metal. So that's quite interesting that they have been chosen to be made that way. They've got these bands going across, which have been picked out in darker black. And there seems to be some additional varnish or paint or something stained onto the wood that has been used to make these barrels. You can see here where it's been turned on a lathe as well. Looking underneath, the bogies are plastic, the wheels are held quite securely in there and a very free rolling, and they've got these brake shoes as well in line with the tread, which is great. And we have this movable coupling which is on an M pocket. So that gives a little hint that this model is perhaps newer than we thought, because the detail on it makes it look very vintage, but it's got an M pockets. So it's a bit of a strange one, this one. You can see the little tabs here from the metal which are holding the plastic on. So I don't think these have been glued on at all, but they do have a screw that you can see here which screws up into the barrel and holds the model together. And finally here you can see the little clips from the brakeman's cab, and underneath the coupling another screw holding it in. So it's quite an oddball wagon. Let's see how much this weighs. So it's heavier than you might think, it's 84 grams. So overall then, I actually really like these barrel wagons. I think they've got a lot of character to them and I quite enjoy seeing them. This one is a bit of a strange one to me. When I initially took it out the packaging, I thought, oh, what a shame, this is a terrible looking wagon. But then the more I've spent looking at it, I've realised it's got some vintage charm to it, and it actually is quite a nice little wagon with a lot of detail and a lot of nice metal parts, and even the wood of the barrels as well make it something really quite special, I think. Sure, you've got to forgive it for not having a lot of detail, especially in the chassis, which is really quite bad. But overall, it actually comes together and makes a really charming little wagon here, and I'm really quite surprised that I like it as much as I do. I don't think it's going to be for everyone's taste, and there are a lot of barrel wagons that you could get, and often they have much more detail to them. But if you're like me into vintage model trains, then this one is a quirky addition to your layout. I've never seen a barrel wagon like this, and I like the fact that it's a mix of metal and wood and plastic. So should you buy this wagon? I think if you're a serious collector and you want the best detail possible, then I think probably not this one. But if you like quirky things on your layout and you're a fan of vintage items, and I think this would make a fantastic addition to your layout. And even as a display model, it has some appeal as well, especially because of the mix of different materials used in this model. So it's quite a brave model for Electrotren to have produced, but it's quite cool that they've done that. And hats off to them, I think they've done a great job here. So let me know what you thought about my analysis of this wagon in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think too. and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, it really helps this channel. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around, but that's it for today. Thanks for watching, see ya!